No, you said you're an idiot. You said what an idiot.
I'm a police constable on a territorial support group.
Which is also known as TSG.
TSG, yeah. We deal with marches and things like that, and student protests. We were heavily involved in that as well.
Right, morning 5 unit. Thank you. This is a march and rally. It's called by the TUC. It's the March for the Alternative, the largest TUC event for decades. In a nutshell, containment is a legitimate tactic. It's been upheld in law. It's not deprivation of liberty. It is a restriction of movement. It's the tactic of last resort, where a serious disorder has occurred and it needs to be quelled, or it's to prevent an imminent breach of the peace. And to keep that tactic legitimate, we need to make sure that we are using our common sense and letting people out. It is to contain violent persons.
I've never been a person that wanted to sit in an office as a career. So for me, the police officer, you earn good money, and it's a good job, and it's also a good career prospects. You get a good pension at the end of it, and you're almost guaranteed a job for life.
Coming back to the tone, untidy is okay. We're not going to be using force, we're not going to be using any police powers just to make it look tidy. That's something from the past. There is a line in the sand around criminal trespass. We'll facilitate peaceful protest. There is that tipping point once they're making a concerted effort illegally to get into a government building or other vulnerable premises, then we will deal, and we won't stand by and watch them do it.
When I first put on the uniform, I suppose I felt excited, proud, but now it's just part of what I do. It's not anything special, really.
Is all this uniform necessary? All these things?
Yes, because as has been seen with the student protests, it can quite quickly turn into serious disorder.
When we deploy you, I have to now consider that you have your own powers. So if I put you in a line into an event, you've got the right to defend yourself. So I have to be mindful of that, and part of that justification that you're doing that is down to me, and it always has been. And I will record this briefing, and in your notes you can say you were briefed to that effect, that I have told you I will deploy you, and I'm mindful that if I deploy you into that, then you have those powers to use. So it's not, although it's a personal issue for yourselves, I've got some responsibility for that.
How many police are on today?
Yeah.
4,500.
4,500.
But that includes some from other forces as well.
And what do you think of that number for 200,000?
I hope it's enough. Yeah, I mean
It's better to be safe, not sorry, I think.
A couple of thousand.
I'd say, yeah, a couple of thousand.
So I think it's quite a high number.
I've been a medic for 3 years now, so I've done various marches and various different public order events. But the student march, for example, that was unbelievable. It was like being in a war zone.
Is not it. South Street. Woo! Yes. We've got 4 vehicles today, 4 carriers, and that's regarded as a PSU, police support unit. There's 30 of those PSUs, in the areas of West London where we are. There's quite a lot of resources out. We'll be held on standby here probably for a few hours, but our police support unit will be able to then deploy anywhere.
So portable radio, and we also have radios in the police carriers as well, and then intelligence is passed through from the ground, so there'll be officers there monitoring the march. They will pass the intelligence up to, they're called GT, and it's basically our control, and then they will disseminate the information out.
What do you normally do with your time?
The time, that's the thing. People go to the newsagent prior to this, they'll bring their favourite book in, they'll bring magazines in. Most PCs now have got these sort of, gadgets that you can watch films on and stuff like that.
First aid kit. This is a long shield, and as you can see, when we're using it, it's with 2 hands. We have a safe. TSG officers also carry what's called taser shields, short shields they're called, and basically they hold them on your left arm if you're right-handed, and that is to withdraw your baton on the right arm. So that would be used to deflect and to strike if you had justification, obviously, to do so.
When do you know that you can use force as such?
When do you know?
It's an individual thing. The use of force is an individual power. So if we feel like we may need to protect ourselves, protect our colleagues, and we need to use force to do that, then that's our justification.